Says, are you off lane or mid? Good luck. And Amel says off lane. So just a little bit of poking at each other here. Nothing too crazy, nothing too egregious. As we get into game number 1, Boom Falcons. This is elimination. This is a chance at playoffs. For Boom, of course, making it to the playoffs would be huge for them, especially with the 2 new members on their team. For Falcons, missing the playoffs, I think slight embarrassment is an understatement.
It is what it is, man. You know, sometimes you just have one of those days, one of those tournaments. What matters is you focus on the positive and you focus on moving forward.
Yeah. Adam 343 Dota, very, very famous for being a glass half full type of guy. So tell me, what is exactly the glass half full here for Falcons? Because you favor the Boom draft, right? So what about Falcons? What are their power levels? What are they playing for?
I think on a more general level right now, Falcons is expanding their hero pool.
Sure.
I think that's a big W. I think number 2 is they are playing their comfort heroes. Elk Skitter, you know, this is I think he's one of the best players at this. They used to run this like Elk CM and abuse the gate so hard, right? Falcons. I think this Elk Tinker is pretty similar. It's just this push lane. Now, really, like you said, on his very notable hero Timbersaw Amar as well. So I think if anything, Falcon is not experimenting right now.
Yeah, it's funny that you're like, one thing that's good is that they're expanding their hero pools, and then you see Malrine on one of the heroes he's played the most, and Amar arguably on his most famous hero, other than the Timber, of course. So funny how Malrine and Amar have such a shared hero pool of very specific heroes either. It's not even like anything mainstream. It's all niche stuff.
That was just, it's meant to be, man.
Yeah.
I think all the heroes like overlap somehow.
Yeah, a little bit. They got the Razor, they got the, and I think Mars, Timber. What else we got? I don't think Amar plays much Monkey King. I know Malrine likes his Primal Beast. Amar, not so much. Okay. Off to the races here. Early doors. I think my eyes are going to be on Amar. You know, apart from the fact that he's kind of usually the main attraction anyway when it comes to laning, he has managed to find his way out of tough matchups with some of his signature picks, right? And yesterday we saw this exact matchup. We saw the PA and the Warlock basically force WS out of lane. It was very difficult for him to stick around. Not much the Mars can really do, but for now, still holding his own. Still sitting pretty healthy. Lane's pushing into him, so gonna get a nice bit of EXP thanks to crit and his shenanigans.
Nothing really going on that's too out of ordinary here. Traps, again, this top lane. Probably won't see much action happening, but Tims is open to go to mid, right? I think we saw it yesterday from Boom to toss back.
Just a little bit of harass damage. This is level 1. Tough part about the Beastmaster is as soon as the Tinker lays down the march, it's kind of difficult to fight into it.
Yeah, sorry. Back to my point. I think Tims is pretty free to roam to mid lane, right? Because this Tinker is not going to threaten Jabs in any way. It's not like a kill lane. Neither Skitter is not really going to run you down either. You probably see a lot of stacking coming out, and I wonder how early we'll see Tims make a move here. It's just the good old pause for stack left, right, you know, with the boar and Tiny.
The early ward already from Falcons in the river, the top side next to the Roche pit, to scout that potential move coming out from Tims already. So very aware about what Boom want to get done in the early game. I mean, we're looking at Jab's Beastmaster, so obviously he's going to build Aghanims here. He's also gone for the Beast mode. Isn't it a bit greedy? Because I'm looking at Boom's heroes. All 3 of their cores, realistically, they don't really want to fight early on, right? The closest thing you're going to get to that is maybe running with the Lash around the map. And if they bring the numbers and get the Timber in, it might be troublesome. Speaking of trouble, top lane, Snaking, getting run down. First blood is drawn. Jabs will slice him down. Very, very nice setup. I was so worried about this position for Tiny, but turns out it works out wonders against this Tinker.
Alright, comes back. He has a stun too on Tims.
Yeah, just holding on to it. Not gonna allow for the deny. One last chop. Get a double, and Tims, he'll just sacrifice himself. He knows there's no point in him sticking around. Just get that reset. And all this gold and EXP is being lost to the tower. Snaking doing a good job just keeping it in the tiny little acid spray and getting Getting Skeeter's Alchemist some posthumous gold. That's very nice of him.
Well, at least he got the gold, no EXP though. Teams will make a move towards the mid lane. Mel gonna get both water runes here thanks to that. Now, how's bot lane? Mars against PA. Losing slightly, not the worst I guess. Definitely doing better than we saw it. Like the train of golems.
That's tough. They don't have any inherent dispel as well, at least between these two heroes. So they're just gonna be taking Fatal Bombs damage big time. Speaking of big damage, Mel arging down at Malrine. If you get the Timber isolated with that Misanthropy facet, it is very, very painful. He's not that tanky early on. Fortunately, the reactive armor doesn't help that much.
Pretty quiet game so far. Nothing going out of the ordinary here. Elk free farming pretty much. Bit low on the XP though since he lost the EXP from the wave but not the gold. Toss back top lane.
Again, another setup. Snaking, struggling to get in there, set up the defense matrix, maybe put down a march as well, but just that little shield will be enough. As you get more levels on Snaking and Skeeter, these kills are going to be a bit harder. I think the biggest surprise to me is that we haven't really seen Tims move over to the mid, but I guess Armel's saying like, oh, I'm completely fine in here. Like, Malrine ain't getting shit. I'm gapping him by quite a significant margin. You don't need to come, just help Jabs out.
Yep, neutralizing. We'll probably see more stacks from Snay as well. Oh my god. English. Moving on for the rune in the mid lane, Tims. I'm curious to see what the first move is going to be here from Falcons. So we don't really see people playing with the gate anymore, and I'm not sure if they can deal with this mid pressure.
I wonder whether Malrine's going to look for a level 6 rotation, because that's kind of the weakness of this mid Timbersaw. You don't really have a lot of trees in the mid lane to play around, so you're just hoping to maybe find an avenue, start rotating perhaps, or be strong enough and unkillable enough that you're dragging attention to you. But now it's kind of working. Tims is now glancing towards that mid lane. Level 6 on Malrine now though. This is such a smart ward from Falcons. They are completely predicting this play from Tims. They know that the Tiny is going to be looking for an angle. Put a sentry preemptively and a ward right outside of his tier 2.
Oh, Armel's going to make a move towards the Shrine of Wisdom with his haste rune. That's how
out by water though. Just trying to force out the haste, but with Malrine's presence here, Amar will be able to secure just 1-for-1 on the Wisdom. Steal some stacks. Maybe some swiped away by the Chakram. Yeah. No piddling back and forth, but nothing much in this early game. Both teams content to just farm it up, and I guess I have to ask, with the game state being a bit slower and a bit more farmy, which side just kind of wins out? Which side is happier with that, you think?
I think there's no particular team advantage, but if you look at the Mars again, this lane is... How do you come back from this? He is 2.2k net worth compared to Jackie's 3.7. That's 1.5k net worth at 7 minutes. It's not like he's dying or like feeding in the lane or anything, you know, it's just really hard. Curious to see how Falcon's gonna make a move to bring him back. Gonna make a move.
Oh, they're running up to the top lane. Twin gates from some of the Boom heroes coming through to try and punish Skeeter. We're gonna take advantage of this timing. Just gonna use the Raw for good measure. Not allow Skeeter any chance of escape. Take a look at the collapse. Jackie and Zhao are here as well to try and put pressure onto the tower. They don't have that same amount of tower damage because of that Lash facet, but they'll make up for it with the numbers. Very, very nice rotation there from Boom.
Falcons look like they want to punish top lane a little. Mars TPing in. At least gonna keep the tower alive. I'm not sure if that's worth the rotations though.
Yeah, the ward spotting out that Warlock going through the Twin Gates, but unfortunately, the only stun that you have on your team really is either on Skeeter or on Amar, and they're looking towards the mid lane instead, but they just narrowly miss out on Tims, who's just TP'd to the bot to try and set up for something. Both teams trying to make moves and kind of near missing each other a little bit. I guess that it's for everyone's benefit. It could get messy for Boom if they run up into some of these Falcons heroes right now, especially Amar, who seems to be ready to fight.
Alright, this gets tossed back. Yeah. I wonder why teams TP bottom. That's like kind of weird, right?
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Like
Maybe they expected some sort of a play being made down on Jack Boys, and they just wanted to preemptively be there for him.
Possible.
We'll ask Tims about that later on. Trying to make a go onto Amel in the mid lane. A lot of damage coming out from the Timbersaw. The Bug still punching away on this ledge, but he's trying to turn onto Crit. Burning up the Weaver. He will lose his life, but not before he takes down Crit. Ends up being a 1-for-1 trade.
Great heads up play. I think he knew he was dead no matter what. Can't really run away from the Timbersaw or just hit the Swarm.
Game plan going very, very clearly in, I won't say Boom's favor, but they're getting everything they want, right? Like Jackie's having basically uncontested free farm, mid lane, Tim's in a little bit of trouble, throw some rocks at the Timber. Get away from me, please, leave me alone. Try to dodge out on the Chakram, nice little last minute stick. He does have to be careful, but Malrine can't just chase him into the trees all willy-nilly. Zhao getting chased out by Crit right now. The combo is there, lightning strikes him down. Malrine a bit too deep, gets baited out by Tims. Some of these early engagements, Boom, they're just getting the better of their opponents right now.
Malrine, you don't want to be dying. He's going for the ATOS too, so he's going to be trying to itemize for a little bit of catch with the way Amar's game is going, but I'm not sure if you can actually run into Boom's heroes. Like if ATOS comes out, I'm not sure you want to go in or not. This Warlock Golem is going to be coming online soon. You're going to have this, just a lot of magic damage, right, coming out from both Tiny and Lash. Something I also didn't mention or didn't realize, I want to say, with this Tiny against the Tinker is repositioning abilities actually just take fights out of martial machines, right? Which is what Tinker wants. So these skewers, these tossbacks, it's actually so hard for Snake to like get a efficient martial machine going.
We've talked about this Tinker at length. Definitely one of the heroes of the patch, and one of the prerequisites for his success is he needs heroes or a location to set up around. He needs this exact scenario where there's one or two tanky bodies in front of him, can put a couple of marchers down, shield them with impunity, and not really be under any threat at all. For now, it's Falcons pressuring the bot tier 1 tower while all of those moves and Malrine and Amar were just kind of messing around, running into Boom. Skeeter has been farming up pretty well. He's caught up. He's top of the net worth now. They've done a good job making space for him. Has the Sacred Relic and is working towards that Radiance. So an amazing timing right now.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's like carry ready, you know. I don't know if getting this Radiance, I mean, he's on the right track. Oh, hold up.
Sure.
Let's see. Nothing happened. Okay. Back to my point. Nothing really happening. He is on the right path, but he needs his team. Unless we see him go into something like a more fighting build, maybe just BKB after tank up for his team, able to frontline. Maybe he'll make space for Malrine and Amar to kind of come back and take fights in his game. But I think other than that, Boom is just super happy with this situation, right? He has this Radiance, but Jabs is like 800 gold away from the Aghanim Scepter. Armel on his way to his own Bloodstone too. And Jack Boy's Battle Fury almost complete.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but if I'm Boom, I'm looking at my other homies like I'm any one of the calls on Boom. I'm like, okay, I'm farming up. You're farming up. We're all farming up. We're all eating good right now. This Alchemist item timing, as we can see here from the pop-up, faster by a whole 6 minutes. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't really know how many Alchemists are getting their Radiance only at 18 minutes. So that might be a bit skewed. But yeah, Skeeter, he's not ready to fight, but this is still pretty nice timing. Run into Tims up here in the top lane, TP out. That's the Atos reveal. Now Reen will get himself a kill. Skeeter lines his pockets.
Atos come into play. The small play, slowing down the dagger on Tiny is always nice. Anything just kind of drag out the game, right? Yeah, close to eggs. What's the rest of our boys doing? I feel like Boom's just happy with the situation of the game now. Like, even if they get these item timings, I don't know if they really want to force anything. Maybe find a fight, just use Warlock Golem. Yeah, find a fight. That's a 4-man smoke.
Want to keep this Atos train going. They got one kill, looking for another, rampaging into the triangle, but won't find anyone there. There's no one showing on waves right now, so this move, it's a little bit obvious, but it's coming around the Wisdom Rune timing.
Oh, they know.
And yeah, Boom will smoke as well. Breaking up. There's a nice avalanche onto 3, but Tim's, he's in a bit of trouble. Golems comes out. Oh, that's a huge fatal bounce. They're going to be toast here. Amel, he's going to start ripping them up, but he needs to find a way into the fight. Being blocked out by the arena walls for now. Jackie trying to chase onto Maori. The TP out. They still have the damage coming out from the fatal bonds, but it's not enough. Malrine makes it back to base, but they lose 3 members for Tim's. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. That was a really, really nice setup there from Zhao. And the Shrine of Wisdom still goes over to Jabs. He's able to secure that, so they don't even lose the EXP.
That was such a weird smoke. I mean, trying to run this 4-man heroes with, I don't know, you don't really have burst, right? I guess if you do get a start on the right hero, maybe expecting more of a pick-off than teamfight, but that was a really nice read from Boom. Predicting the smoke team smoked up. Guess the Avalanche Torch breaks the smoke, sure he goes down, but who cares? My Wild got 4-man fatal bonds. Armel wasn't even there at the start of the fight, or else everyone else would be dead instantly.
It's just so weird because Falcons, the way they walked up to that Wisdom rune, I think they, as soon as they broke onto that high ground and didn't initially see anyone, they thought, oh, okay, this is free. We're just going to stand around, get the shrine and, you know, stand there and wait for someone to walk up. But they didn't realize that a smoke move was something that Boom had cooking up. And second the Tiny came out, instant stun, instant 4-man fatal bonds. Perfect setup. That's not going to stop Falcons from being able to secure this Tormentor though. Forward, they found Zhao. That's gonna be a dead Warlock.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I guess they died at 14 minutes, so they can secure 15 minutes.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Bright side?
It's not too bad of a follow-up from losing that huge fight there. You need a little bit of a morale boost. But for those of you who need a morale boost, you want to make sure to type !F in chat because there's a ton of nice content, ton of updates and information about all the tournaments that Fissure Studios is running throughout the year. Not just Dota, other esports as well. You can, if you're watching on Twitch, you can scroll down to the banner, click that, and that should give you a link to all of Fissure's socials. Be sure to subscribe, follow them there.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Speaking
Even
of
with this
follow,
Elk being 3k gold lead ahead, it's still a less than 1k gold lead for Falcons. This is not looking too hot for them.
Amara's Tranquil's queued up, man. He knows what kind of game this is. It's a tough game, it is what it is. Boom. Don't have smoke right now. Dagger reveal on the Tiny, Bloodstone on Armel too, so the double timing. See the lines drawn toward the top side. They have a ward up here. They see Amara.
What exactly are Boom looking for here? Like, what is this smoke meant to achieve? Just find someone and take a tier 2 or Roche, maybe?
This is just about closing map. They have their timings, they're strong enough. They kind of understand that Falcons can't really fight into this golem. Mar, here's the shield rune. No blink dagger though, on cooldown.
Jabs is showing on the mid wave, but still a bit too suspicious for Amar's liking. He'll start walking back into the safer part of his jungle.
Nicely dodged. Boom ain't gonna stop though. That's your answer. That's what they wanted. Look at the toss back.
Into the setup. Dust into stun. Not in time though. Crit able to get the time that's off, and Tims will go down. Amar with the setup onto the lash.
Oh.
They rocked in the middle. Zhao, a little bit of panic, maybe miscommunication. That's one of the rare times where you see the blood sport facet come into play. Zhao was a bit afraid that his lash was being committed on, and I guess Amel in that moment didn't manage to communicate the fact that he was completely fine in time. They just kind of have a golem just standing around now. This Roche is taking quite a while. It's rather awkward here for the side of Boom.
This is kind of weird right now, but the bright side is Marine has no mana. What they try to do, Jab's still feeling really strong. I don't think Falcons can really contest this, and yep, there it goes.
Maybe if it took a little bit longer, second round of bugs would have given Falcons the confidence to reinitiate, but without Amar's arena, not gonna happen. I guess in the grand scheme of things, that golem zoned them out anyway. Because even though you kind of pop it and you didn't really get a kill or anything of Tims in the mid lane again. Getting a bit too frisky with it. He thought he could just clear a creep wave. No. Peter, still a force to be reckoned with, and that's going to open up this mid lane tier 1 for them at least. This game's pretty back and forth. Falcons with a 2k, 3k gold lead, even though the Aegis just fell into the hands of Boom. That's all on Skeeter right now, right? Your hopes, your dreams, you're looking at your Alchemist, you're saying, Papa Skeeter, please carry us.
Papa Skeeter indeed, and he's popping 15k net worth, pretty far ahead, almost 800 GPM. Once the AC comes out, I mean, I know I said that Elk can't really 1v5 these games, not that kind of hero, but he is still keeping it up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Still pass by.
He's hitting these item timings very, very nicely, as we see from these stats coming out. BKB ahead of the curve, definitely a necessary item this game into the Lash, into some of the magic damage coming out from the Tiny and the Beastmaster as well.
Maureen going for the Aghanims now too. That's a nice one. There's no like dispel, dispel for the Aghanims buff later on. So he's going to be able to frontline, probably not get bursted by this PA especially. They do need bodies.
Just a reminder here that you're watching the official stream of Fissure Studios, the Fissure Universe Esports. One stream happening today because there are only 3 matches, and the rate this is going, the first one might be an upset. The Falcons aren't able to come up with something quickly. Right? Again with the setup, with the bait and the time lapse, they have yet to be able to really punish this Weaver, and they will take down Armel instead. Golem comes out a bit too late, but Jackie's starting to cut into Malrine already. The Timbersaw will just get chopped. Raw comes out, the BKB duration, he manages to get it off, but Jackie focusing down snaking, focusing down the backline support. And get the kill, looking for more. The blink away from Skeeter. He'll be safe. Amar still trying to set up because the BKBs are out, but is this really what you want, Amar? You're gonna die in your own arena. This is not the battle that you asked for. A spear to buy him some time, but the Golem just beating him up, and Jackie will find a triple kill. It's too easy for this Phantom Assassin here.
That's the BKB reveal. Suddenly 2k goal off that. Boomer, a very nice fight after what looked like a little bit of a questionable Golem drop, right? Jabs also didn't roar at the start. He was saving it, figuring that Armel was dead anyway. But really nice turn by Boom.
A quick replay of that, at least the tail end of that. Maybe we'll get a full scale one. That's just a little preview for you guys. Okay, that's a preview. If you type !F and follow on your socials, maybe you'll get a replay. Think about it. But yeah. Okay, we're getting a real replay now. No memes. Crit again. This is the second time where this Kim's Armel duo, where they're trying to chain stun, hasn't really been able to burst Crit down 100-0. And as a result, the Atos putting Armel in a very compromising position. Even though he has that Bloodstone heal going, you can see the value of the Spirit Vessel. They managed to take down Armel, and the Golem drop is awkward at first, but suddenly you see Malrine in on the front lines facing off against Jackie. You're like, how the hell did you get there? Raw over the BKB duration just to waste it for Skeeter, while Jackie, excellent target prioritization. He understands that snaking needs to go. Takes him out of the equation. Very, very well played from the PA, and oh no, have they found Malrine again? The toss to interrupt the Timber Chain. Oh my goodness, that must have been a Raw as well. They are doing a great job exterminating this last pick Timbersaw. It has not looked like a Malrine Timbersaw game.
That's also because they picked it blind, right? Like Boom had this lash up their sleeve, so I think they were looking at it anyway. I think on top of all this, again, I go back to this point about this Mars into PA. Like I feel like it has to be enabled more, right? So if you want to pick Mars into PA, you need magic damage on your post 4. Maybe they had an idea of how to play the lane better, but the thing is, Boom also saves their post 5 pick, right? So regardless of what you pick, the PA will be in most likely an advantageous situation.
And the way that Boom has set up that draft.
Crit has 2 heads.
Really smart stuff.
I guess he knows if he doesn't die to this stun toss plus slash stun combo, he's just not gonna die. Game's back to a little chillin'. Core stuff almost done. Both teams just kind of trying to push out waves. Aegis ending for Boom. See another stalemate for another 2 or 3 minutes. Teams trying to save up some items for the Roche fight. Ball at towers, because you're gonna give Falcons space to recover. So I like what they're doing. They're taking away net worth from Falcons instead of just taking the map. If that makes sense at all. Like you see his moves where they take team fights, they're kind of like poking into the jungle a little. I think they're also very happy with this game going longer. This B/PA course, yeah, I think so. I think they are very happy with this game.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna have to explain that concept to me here because I'm a pleb. Look, you're saying that the way that they're playing right now is denying the map from Falcons. But I'm looking at the map of Falcons. They still have access to the triangle. They still have access to the Outer Banks river area up top over here. They're not really being squashed. There's no vision planted from Boom in their jungle to punish or pick off or anything. In fact, Boom are mostly farming their own side of the map. So, you know, isn't this kind of giving Falcons space to recover and get back into this game, or am I misunderstanding something here?
Okay, I think maybe I misworded that a little, but I feel like the pace that Falcons heroes farm at are not that fast in comparison to Boom. It's actually so scary for Falcons heroes to like kind of push out the lanes aggressively or just go up on the map. Maybe only this Elk or like Timber pushing with Chakan, but you compare his Mars ability to like farm and clear camps versus B/PA, like it doesn't even come close, you know? I feel like these heroes, they need to fight and they need to be smart about what they're looking for to kind of come back into the game. Which is why we see this whole, we are ahead of the game, we are going to pull further ahead right now. It just feels easier, you know? When one team fight, one kill is like a tower in 5 to 10 seconds in comparison to like you need to stand there, hit the tower for 20, 30 seconds. The game feels very different.
Right. I think, I'm not gonna lie, the way you rephrase that just, it's perfect. I completely understand it now. But I mean, I guess you talk about Falcons looking for an opportunity, looking for a fight, looking ahead. They are probably waiting for that Amar BKB, or maybe not. Smoke up ahead of that. It's that AC completion from Skeeter.
You want 5 with
Star for
Maori
crit.
eggs. A little slow though, I think. Might not meet each other here.
I don't even know whether they realized they passed each other quietly in the night over there. Yeah, a crazy part about nighttime vision. It's one of those things where in the game you're just like, oh, I guess they're just on not on this part of the map. And then you watch the replay, you're like, holy shit, if I walked like 20 centimeters to the left, my slope would have fallen.
It's the equivalent of like the CS players watching their own wall bangs, you know. I remember there were like interviews about this.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's kind of...
Just gonna tormentor it up. I guess that's what the smoke was for, like Falcons just angling towards the left side, trying to reveal Marines' Agonyms as well. Newly obtained. But Jackie already has a nullifier queued up, so I think this is quite a natural build up for him. Playing as Tinker, you get to purge off the defense matrix. It's nice to have against the supports to help you kill them as well. Oh wait, no, he changed it to Satanic.
Yeah, I was about to say, I clicked on him and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Now he queued up. Tim's also has Yules, I guess Yules is one way.
They caught him again. Pull him in, manages to get the Aghanim's proc off. He's going to reflect quite a bit of that damage. The Yules to deny it. They can even raw. Hold him in place. Jackie's in. Down goes Malrine again. This Timber Sword just has no game whatsoever. And Snake King, we talked about how tough this Tinker is to set up. They want to fight. They're coming in, but the Golem, the counterplay, they're trying to burst down Armel, but he gets the BKB and Bloodstone off. He's fine. Skeeter is in trouble. Skeeter's getting sliced up, and they'll toss in Zhao. Zhao's like, what the hell am I going to do? I'm a Warlock. Jackie is the one who can finish the job, though, and he's looking for an angle to jump in. Skeeter, the blinks, the stun. It's perfect. It might just buy him enough room. That lightning slowing him down. His chemical rage is going to come to a close, and so will his life. Lopped his head off. Both the Golem and that little guy riding on top. A 2-for-1 special as Falcons lose 3 heroes. I don't know whether they should have fought that. I mean, the Golem still wasn't used. Zhao was just waiting for his opportunity.
The fight just seemed too simple. Falcon trying to get a pick off onto the PA before he popped BKB, but Jack was a bit too fast on his fingers. They also almost get Armel, but unfortunately just BKBs and runs out a little too fast. Damage issues over damage issues right now. This goal lead, it's piling up, and Boom are getting harder and harder to take down, and especially without Malrine, right? The hero that I said was their damage, it covers all their problems, but where's the damage if he's dead?
Yeah, where is the damage? I mean, his Aghanim's damage dispelled by the Yules, his natural damage, he can't even put it out before he dies because the chain control is perfect from Boom. They've caught him out every single day of the week this game. 3, 4, and 4. This is not what you want to see from your mid laner, and they're not done. Crit. You weren't convinced by this position 4 Weaver. You said they needed something with a bit more of a punch, a bit more of a way to help them get control and some sort of a follow-up to this Mars. And I mean, it did have its merit because it built into the Spirit Vessel, right? It allowed for kills onto Armel a bit earlier on. What was that? BKB pop? Amel playing it a bit safe here, but yeah, I mean, back to my point, the Weaver, there were some moments where they were able to take down Amel thanks to that Spirit Vessel soul release, right? But now that he has the BKB, that doesn't even matter. He can just Bloodstone heal for free.
Look, Checkboy spot nullifier. Where are you at, haters?
Who is hate? Adam, nobody's hating. Nobody, get it together.
Let me have my moments.
Okay, I'll give it to you. But yeah, I mean, Nullifier makes so much sense this game.
It's just simple, right? Against Timber especially. Like, Maori has no BKB, so there's no way of like removing... No way of protecting himself from this. He is their damage. I think Boom realized this as well. He's like, hey guys, Timber dead.
I think this goes back to what you were saying about the draft from the very start. And I didn't really see what you were talking about until this point where it's very clear that Boom's gameplay is just so straightforward. They blink forward, they get a catch with a roar, and somebody dies because of Jack Boys. Meanwhile, for Falcons to succeed, they need to pull some Silk Dissolate shit, right? They need to get some sort of crazy acrobatics out from Malrine. He has to get damage in somehow.
Acrobatics coming in.
Yeah, acrobatics up in the sky, Skeeter. That's not where an alchemist should be, but he's trying to turn around. Snake King will TP in for the backup. Tim's hiding in the glimmer. Nice little blink forward there. Gets the stun out, and Tim's is going to go down. A bit too far forward without the rest of the team's backup. They know that the PA and the Beastmaster just showed bot, and they could take that one.
So much awareness to not pop BKB there, actually. Tim's also going a bit too far. Falcons will finally get what feels like a not so bad trade for them. Oh no, jinxed. My bad.
Malrine bad, guys.
The text speed is fucking
Malrine
crazy.
has an Athos. Not even gonna need to use it for now.
Jack Boys feeling strong. Skidder almost has this Abyssal done though. That might give them a bit of the lockdown. It felt like he was lacking. He is able to keep on to targets a bit better with this. There's a small. The Abyssal reveal. Tim's is tipping here.
There's the chance
Oh,
that
they
if
get
Falcons are
jabs
the ones that can
instead.
get the jump. They're gonna try, but Jabs just beats them to it. Cuts off the backline, immediate blink away. Tim's goes down, but nobody else. He popped the BKB on Amar. That is a little bit awkward.
That was timing. It was Dota timing at its finest. Jabs blinks in as soon as Skeeter sees Tim's, right? Otherwise, Jabs probably just feeding there.
Yeah. Jabs gotta thank his lucky stars. Yeah, this was supposed to be sort of the big reveal. They'd love to have caught Armel, Jabs, or any one of the cores really, but Tim's again. I mean, he's the only one dying this game. It feels like 0, 7, and 13. Everybody else on Boom, able to preserve themselves for the most part.
Amar, very, very, very quiet game from him. Net worth on par with the 0-7 Tiny, unfortunately, but his supports are doing pretty well for themselves.
Is under attack.
Tinker and Weaver, not the worst heroes to have net worth on as well. I wonder how Falcons is going to pull this back. Still keeping themselves in the game to a certain extent right now. He's still scaling. Skeeter still has room to grow. Maybe hit his boys up with some Aghanim's later on too.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You think Aghanims is good this game? A Mars?
For Weaver, maybe? The safe? I think
for
that's
Weaver.
like the...
I heard Mars. I was like, what the hell? I remember there was this whole period where Amar was going for it, right? That whole bulwark with the attacking soldiers. Then he go Deso Satanic. It was hilarious.
That was my first land cast.
Oh,
It was,
that was like
Gunting.
KL.
Yeah, it was Gunting.
Oh, Gunting.
It's just where Amar first picked Mars every game. He just pressed soldiers like that.
Okay, boys.
That's the...
Up ahead here. We can see that the damage coming
The
out is
tossback,
very
they get the
significant if they
snake.
can get the connection, but the tossback, they found Snake. Tim's with a beautiful one. Fishing out the Tinker, and they're going to try and respond. Tim's with the Yule, saving himself.
Rock's
Meanwhile,
coming
Jabs on the
soon.
back line, slicing up the supporting class. They just can't survive. Again, it's just Tim's going down, but they don't care. They don't care that they lose their Tiny if they're going to get your cause for it. BKB forced out by Skeeter. He's trying to truck it back to the safety of his team.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jack Boys. That blink strike right as the blink dagger came out for the Alchemist.
Marine has a Glimnir. That's a thing. I've not seen this before. The Gleipnir Alchemist. Sorry, Timbersaw. These fights
At
are
this point,
so
he
difficult.
needs like everything to try and hold them in place, right? We saw the point I was trying to make before a full-on fight erupted is if they can get their spells off onto Jack Boys, he does drop very quickly. You're relying on a golem to save him. You're relying on Jabs to come in and counter-initiate. But they don't really have any endemic saves. So without this Aegis, now that it's expired, if you're able to get the connection, there is a world where you burst down Jack Boys and suddenly your fight gets so much easier.
I can totally see that. But I think it's weird that Falcon did that while Aegis was still up. It was like, I think less than a minute left.
Yeah,
Jack Boys also
I get what you're saying.
completes the Satanic on top of all that. There is a tossback, Glimmer, Golem. Jabs can obviously blink in the arena with Shiva's now raw Skitter up because I feel like Skitter's kind of the only damage, right? Just gotta get raw on him, which is why we see Crit going for the Lotus here, try to protect him up a bit.
You see that fire trail? They're gonna jump into Amar. Oh, 3 members just collapse instantaneously. And we were talking about how Amar and Malrine were sort of these big hero specialists, these big superstars on their Mars, on their Timber, but this game, it just doesn't feel like it was the right pick. Hasn't worked out for them at all.
Setting up in the bot lane, they want the Shrine. I'll close the map on Falcons. Jabs already smoked out. Falcons will know better though. Already out of there.
Dire are scanning.
Jack Boys going for the MKB. I think realizing that he actually can just kill Skitter and no other hero matters as much.
Let's try and take stock of the situation. I know you like being positive. Let's look at Falcons and what kind of the outlook is for them, because now they're facing up against what feels like a final boss late game PA. And that's terrifying. And we're not even talking about Armel, we're not even talking about Jabs yet.
Talking about
Oh,
Jabs.
they know crit. They know crit. Should be able to time. Just kidding. Just kidding. Haha, a joke. Haha. No time lapse for you. Tim's denies it.
I think Malrine needs BKB first and foremost. They'll like help him survive through the fights. I feel like Falcons need to play to a point where Amar is able to get this like Hex or just 2-man spear maybe. I feel like that's their win condition right now because I feel even just killing PA is not a very realistic thing even without Aegis. Without this MKB on Skitter. Armel's also doing a lot of damage and he has the Hex now.
As you can see from the win probability, Falcons, even though it feels like they're so far behind it, they're not by any stretch of the imagination out of it just yet, but it's getting close. 1 or 2 more Aegis, actually the next Aegis is going to be quite a big deciding factor. It'll allow Boom to start really smashing up onto these high grounds. Get another Tormentor for themselves here. The items and the resources just stacking up. Now Jabs with double the Hawks.
He has a dagger, so you know Falcon's plans. Push waves, don't die, drag it out as much as we can. Maybe hopefully to a point where we can do more damage. We just need to find a way to get net worth on their cores. Pick up those greedy items.
You can kind of see it reflected in Amar's quick buy as well. He's gone for the Aether Lens, just for that additional cast range so he can throw out the spear with relative safety. He's not even playing to be in the middle of the fight anymore. He just needs to sort of get his spells off, keep himself safe, push out waves like you said. Maybe slowly but surely get his way towards that Hex that will allow his team to, maybe for the first time this game, take initiative and catch one of the Boom members other than Tim's off guard. It's just been Tim's dying. 11 kills on the side of Falcons. 8 of them on the Tiny, man.
Taking one for the team.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Boom. Playing a bit safe now. They know that the Roche fight is all that's standing between them and possibly high ground against Falcons. Sticking to the bottom too. They know it's a dire Roshan.
Structures are fortified.
It's gonna be a close spawn though. 240. Where's my maths bad? Yeah, it's like 39, 40-ish.
Yeah.
Are scanning.
And just a quick recap for you folks just joining us. This is Elimination Day. 3 more series at Fissure Universe Episode 4 group stage before we decide the last 3 qualified teams. And unfortunately, we might have to, we have to wave goodbye. Dodging each other out at the moment. They've got the catch. again, it's onto Tims. It's just Tims. Could open up a little bit of a vantage point for them to try and fight. Roche is up now.
They're looking.
This is good timing. And they go. Immediate blink hex. Malrine is gone. That's not even close.
Three-man fatal
and you get a
bonds.
fatal bonds onto 3. That's tough. Crit has to force stuff up to the high ground. They ping out the gem that Malrine dropped, so they're going to be able to claim that one and just head into the pit. Make that one look easy.
Falcons, they need to contest this, I think. Arena's still available, but can they? Tim's is hunting.
Tims did buy back into this, so he does want to be a bit more careful with his positioning. Amar is going to come in arena, try and throw Jackie away. Pushing him into the walls for now, but the Roche is not low enough to steal. He's going to just fully commit in. Meanwhile, backline, Tims, he's just taking the pressure. Jabs will steal the Aegis of the Immortal, and Boom are the ones to get that Roche kill. Meanwhile, Tims is still fine. They just don't have the damage.
No kill policy indeed. Amar, he went for a right play, I think. He went in his spirit, like, oh, I need to kill Roche now, but unfortunately it was like maybe 7% HP left. Not enough damage. That boy just jumps on him, jabs too.
The replay of that, Malrine dares to show his face on that ward, trying to de-ward, instantly punished. Quick decisive move there from Boom, and the Golem just off the mark onto Snaking. Could have been really scary if the Tinker were to go down there. Not that would have changed much. Still a very easy Roche take for them, and Boom. That's kind of been the story for this game so far. It was a very quiet early game. Malrine came out with the 23 pick Timber. They were confident about it, but we were saying that they probably were prepared for the Armel Lash, but were they really? It doesn't really seem that way. And this was unfortunate timing from Amar, maybe getting a bit desperate, maybe misjudging the damage that Boom had. Comes in way too early and he just gets chopped down while Tim's making space for the rest of the team.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're talking about all this. One Rex has gone down. Check, boys. No Aegis. I guess the only bright side for Falcons is the Aegis on jabs. That being said, he also has the cheese Aghanim shard and refresher. As you can see by our beautiful UI. What's he missing?
Just put him in. Get him in there. So ask the Beastmaster start hitting the towers. The hell?
He probably can.
He's got more resources than you can fit into your like inventory.
Let's see what happens when he gets the 7th icon. Does it go bottom or does it go like big?
Yeah. Like how far does it expand down, right? Is it like a sort of reverse triangle type situation?
Give him the shard and the gem. Come on, guys, do it for content.
Yeah. Hashtag respect Fissure designers. Okay, you can redeem that one in the chat with your points. But yeah, I think it's been an amazing performance from Boom so far. Like I said, that early game, it was very quiet from Falcons. In particular, that Mars and Timber didn't get much done on the map. Felt like a slow but sure drain towards Boom's advantage. And even though Skeeter, at moments he looked like he was the one who would be able to turn things around for them, it's just one Alchemist. It's just he just doesn't have enough damage. Now, Falcons will smoke up. Smoke is going to break. Jack Boys immediately dodges away.
He coming back though.
He coming back. Looking at crit. Crit's gonna get crit. Crit's gonna get killed. They're looking for more. Armel with the raw out. Skeeter, he is gone. Not enough HP in the world's gonna save you from that one. Malrine tossed up to the sky. He probably has the BKB out, but he's gonna try and get a kill onto Tim's first. Golem off the mark, and that means Malrine is gonna be able to escape. Feels like that's the first time this game I get to say that line.
You're probably right, actually. But no BKB, out down 75 seconds, no buyback. Tinker's like the only last line of defense, but even then, I don't think Boom care too much right now.
I mean, hell, at this point, even if Snake King was a mid Tinker, I don't know whether it would change much. Yeah, just way too strong on Boom. Charging forward to the beat of the drums, Jabs leading the squad with his infinite resources. Raw still available, BKB still available, second life, everything in the kitchen sink. Boom, they have it in their back pocket. Still don't have a buyback. You need to try and maybe attempt a 4v5, but how are you going to find this opportunity? The Golem scouting out, going to go into the tree lines, spot out Snake King, force the blink away. Jabs again. He still has that second life. You haven't threatened it yet.
No, just parks his Golem in the corner of the X.
Just jumping out onto the Timber Saw. Nice arena, keeping Jack Boys at bay for now, but they hold that poor Timber in place, and Malrine doesn't stand a chance. No buyback there. The March of the Machines will at least get jabs on his first life, but hope starting to fade if you're a Falcons fan. This shit is looking rough. Nice spear back onto Jabs, but Jabs still has a BKB. Keep in mind, Bella still has a cheese. He's got a little snack ready for this type of a situation, and they don't even need it.
Zoning out now. Marino buyback. Falcons has spawned on Skitter. Comes on now.
Gonna try and jump in raw just to deny that go, and Jackboy still jumping on the back lines, holding on to the resources again. They just don't have the firepower. Jabs, he's godlike, and GG is called. Boom! They'll be the ones to take game number 1 against Falcons, and we talked about it in the pre-game, Adam. This is a matchup that 3 months ago, even 1 month ago, you'd look at it, you'd be like, oh, this is gonna be such an easy Falcon sweep. Like, this is the 2-0, right? Surely they just knock Boom out. Another tournament where Southeast Asia doesn't get anything past the group stage. Haha, weak region. But I mean, at this point, with the way this